Hey guys, it's Danny. Today let's take a look at my garden after about a week of experiencing a heat wave. Temperatures above 35 degrees Celsius. We had in the past few days 37, 38. That would be in the upper 90s Fahrenheit if I'm not mistaken, so pretty hot. Not really usual for the end of May, but not uncommon either. Heat spells are very common here in Cyprus, where I am, and I was a little bit concerned, I will say. I know that in summertime, many of the plants we grow, and especially the roses, they take a little bit of a break, they go dormant, but you know, there's still that doubt that everything will be okay. And yeah, let's just take a look. Spoilers, everything is okay, surprisingly enough, but there are a few things that I would like to show you. So first of all, let's just take a little look-see at the roses. This is Coco Loco, Julia Child. These are some of the first roses that I planted, Subterdial. These ones already had their first flush and they're preparing for their second flush, and look at that. There's no drama here. None at all, and my trees have not grown yet. I have Jatropha's, I have Plumerias, they shade nothing. This side gets blasted with sun. I'm taking this opportunity to film today because it's a little bit cloudy. It's not gonna last long and it's gonna be 37°C today, but now it's early morning, kind of cloudy. I'm gonna film real quick. Later on this week, we're gonna have hopefully some rain and some lower temperatures as well. But yeah, we're in the middle of the heat wave and this is how everything is doing. Absolutely fantastic. You will see some things are doing better than others, but there is a catch. I'm gonna tell you about it. Even the salvias, they're doing good. This one in particular. Look at that. These are the first salvias that I planted, and all of this foliage and everything had some time, or actually it's new foliage. I already cut them once, and it grew adapted. Like a few days ago, I posted a video about the difference and the major advantage that any plant which is planted early has, because it grows adapted structures. And Plumerias and everything are no difference, especially roses, but even salvias. I'm going to show you some really unhappy salvias, and I'm also going to show you some really unhappy lavender. But look at this. Lavenders absolutely fantastic. This is, I do believe, what is referred to as English lavender. I much more prefer it, honestly, now that I see it, over the Spanish lavender, which grows a little lanky now and a little weird in the summer. I think it needs a prune. But I like this one so much that I decided to buy a few more. And I planted them like a couple of weeks ago. And, oops. And also, oops, look at them. Oh no! They do not like the sun. And it's not that they don't grow here or they don't like the sun, but they have never experienced heat before. Whereas the other lavender just had more time to adjust to the sun's strength. Where are you? There you go. And all of these things. I planted this in February, I think, and the one that you just saw that is hanging on for dear life, it's planted 2 weeks ago. And it was kept in the flower shop in, I would say, room temperature. It was covered, it was like in a different room, they had evaporative cooling walls, it was like March in there. And here I am buying it and putting it in my super hot garden. Of course it's gonna do that. Absolutely. But it doesn't mean the plant doesn't grow in my area. As we can see, it just means it's not adapted. And I made a point then about how barewood roses are typically performing better than purchased potted roses. And I'll show you a few of the differences. I'll show you what I mean. So, can we see how pretty these roses grow considering the heat? Let's keep that in mind. Look at that. And look at this. I got this one a month ago and it was a planted rose. It's a Tantau rose. It does not look good. It's scorched. It's done. But do we see the new growth? Look at that. It's growing like nothing is happening. Have another barewood rose here. Planted it a month ago. Now this one had no foliage. Everything that grew adapted here. There's no crunchiness. So that is the major difference between an adapted plant and a non-adapted plant. And I don't know what I'm gonna do about my lavenders. I don't know if they will survive. I hope they will. I will give them a bit of a trim. But if they don't, you know, it's my lesson to buy lavender in the cool season, which is, you know, end of autumn, winter, springtime. Summer, maybe, or end of spring, not the season to buy stuff. But hey, you know, even the osteospermum is growing. Look at that. They're all doing fine. This was a very, very poor looking salvia. I cut it back and everything that grew adapted. Now, look at this beautiful rose. This is a Royal Perfuma. Beautiful, beautiful. But look at this tiny rose. This is a rose that I got locally about a month ago, I would say. It is a cutting, so it is a known root rose, but even this one has a bit of issues, as you can see, lots of crispiness, but the new growth looks good. Now, I don't have a name for this rose, but it's a beautiful orangey rose with a magenta reverse. It's actually really beautiful. Has a bit of a fragrance as well. So, you know, I had to have it. It's a mini-ish rose. It doesn't look like it's very tall, or it will grow very tall, and it was sold as a mini rose. Although the flower is kind of like this. It's not very, very small. Let me adjust the exposure. And this is my Spanish lavender. See what I mean? It grows well, but it's a little lanky. It's a little, I don't know, not as pretty. It does look good in cooler seasons. But the English lavender looks good now, you know? So that's why I wanted to get a few more English lavenders, but oh my. Now, flowers do tend to scorch in the heat. That is a fact that happens. Some scorch more than others, but I don't expect them to look as beautiful as for other people, let's say in the UK. But what I am expecting is for the rose bushes to survive, because here we enjoy rose blooms in the autumn, later autumn, winter, spring, and even all the way through June. July and August are not it for flowers. It's okay. But what I can do is actually, and I've already done it, I can cut the flowers before they fully open early in the morning and bring them inside. And inside they open fantastic. So in the early summer, I can totally do that just to enjoy some of the blooms. So I don't care if the blooms get scorched. It's fine. I can enjoy roses throughout the year, except summer. But I really, really just want the rose bush itself to survive, which, you know what, I think all of them will. Back there we have the Queen of Sweden. This is its second flush. Look how strong this bush is. Amour de Molène, sorry. Yeah, beautiful. They're doing very well. Here's the thing. Clematis, I don't think will do good in my environment. So what I did here was I cut this clematis all the way down because the leaves were scorched. But look at the new growth. It looks good. I'm thinking, I got a little trellis for it. I'm thinking maybe I want to put some trellises here and grow it on the wall. Or maybe grow it on this magnolia. This is a magnolia. It's a test. I don't know if it's going to grow well here. It's either a black tulip, either a, what's the other one, the smaller one? I forgot. It has, I don't think it's the black tulip, but it looks like it. I think it's the other one. Anyway, so this is a test. I love magnolias so much, but the ones in front, they did not make it. This is the only one that made it, so I put it here where it actually has more space to shine. In the back, in the front, garden where I had it, it was a little crowded. So I put it here, and hopefully she will do okay during summer. It's the only one that is still looking green and nice. The other star magnolia that I had absolutely did not even grow leaves, and the other one got scorched. So I think if magnolia survive here, it's a location thing, probably. Anyway, so back to the clematis. I might grow it in the magnolia because it has some shade, or on the trellis, I don't know. But I was not expecting it to sprout and actually look like this in 37C. Oh my goodness, I don't know, but I'm gonna give it a chance. And also, I wanted to show you these flowers. I have 3 of them. 1, That one is pink. This one is supposed to be yellow, but now it's looking white because it's hot. And I have another one there. These I got at a friend's christening. These are like quote unquote the favors. If you know Greek tradition, when you go to weddings or christenings, you get a little gift to remind you of that event. And in this event, they decided to give out little flowers, which, you know, perfect for me. And everybody got one, and or every couple, let's say, got one. But there were a few left over, so I asked if I could have a few, and of course I got them. I got 3, and they are doing so well. I don't know what they are. They surely are an African flower. These guys do very well here in our climate. Look at them, and they're so pretty, and they will always remind me of the event, which is great. And yeah, the friends will come over soon, and they're very happy. The flowers are doing well. Right. On this side, look at Eptide. Eptide in 37C. Oh my. Also, this is Fruity Perfuma in 37C. Very nice. And also, this is Pompeii. You don't know I have this one. This is a mini one. Look how pretty it looks like. I don't know what spider this is. I don't know if I'm focused on it, but it's interesting. Now let me show you my absolute favorite tree for small gardens. Is this one. Sorry about the exposure. I'm doing my best. It's very bright. I plastered Jatropha's all around my garden because they grow into beautiful little trees. They don't have invasive roots and nothing kills them in the summer in the winter when we had that freak -5, which we never do in our area. They did not even lose buds. They were not flowering. They didn't have leaves. Yes, they're deciduous, but nothing died on them. And in the heat, they are continuously in bloom. Like, they take a break for 2 to 3 months from blooming here in the winter, but afterwards, they're just blooming all the time, and I love them so much. I see them from my kitchen window, and they just bring me so much joy. I did not know Jatropha's exist until I came here, but I'm so in love with them. Such beautiful plants, such tolerant plants. They grow great here and there and bloom all of the time, all of the time. Here's my little bougainvillea, which I almost lost this winter on the -5 day. It died a lot. I had to cut a lot of it out. But now she's looking good. She started to bloom. And I planted some, how do you call them? I forgot the name in English. I know the name in Romanian, but I don't think anybody will understand. Well, if you're Romanian, you'll understand. But anyway, I forgot the name. I planted seeds of this plant, and they grow so beautifully. I'm thinking to plant, just get some more, seeds and just sprinkle them in the garden and have a little carpet of this. You know what I dream of one day? I dream of removing the fake grass, which, you know what? I have to do a compromise with my husband. This is what he wants. He wants some space for activities and stuff. I want to garden. But anyway, we are a team and we have to make compromises, and he makes a lot of compromises for me. So I can deal with the fake grass for now. But if ever he gets sick and tired of it, because it gets hot, you guys. If he ever gets sick and tired of space, I told him, and you like my garden, I'm going to start designing garden area here, maybe plant more trees for more shade and more shady areas here. And because in my area, grass, it's simply not possible, absolutely not possible at all. It's just, you spend so much water, which, you know what, this year is scarce in my area. I need to be more tight with water as well. You spend all of this water for dead grass in the middle of summer, pretty much. So grass is not happening here. But you know what? This is an amazing ground cover. Portulacas, there you go. I love portulacas so much. And I'm sure that I can find some other stuff to act as grass. Of course, in the winter, it's not gonna be. But you know what? I have a bark mulch. It's okay. But in the summer, you know what? They're actually nostalgic for me, because at my grandma's neighborhood, let's say, these ones would grow in between rocks. When I was a kid, the street we were on and the sidewalks, they were not paved. They had rocks, and dirt and soil would accumulate in between the rocks. So these flowers would grow. And whenever I would walk the streets, I would always admire the little portulacas in the summer, and they would grow beautifully all summer long. So these are so nostalgic for me. That's why I planted them. And also my mom loves them a lot. So you know what? My dream is to make a carpet of portulacas. One day, if my husband gets tired of all of the activities on the fake grass. For now, I'm okay though. But that's the dream. Maybe making a lawn of portulacas. And this is the front garden. This gets sun from around 9:30 all the way to sunset pretty much. So it's bathed in sun all day. How do we look? I would say we're looking good. Yeah, the roses have smaller flowers than usual, maybe not as many petals, and that is to be expected, but holy moly, I cannot describe to you how hot it already is and how hot we had it this week, and they're all alive. And I'm so, even the David Austins, like, do we see there? All of these are David Austins, these two, and this one I purchased recently, but it has new growth. All of the old growth kind of scorched, but the new growth is okay. Even the David Austins are doing okay. Oh my, I'm so happy. Here's the thing, it is hot, but because my garden is just kind of young and this is open space, you know, I'm not in the middle of the city anymore, which is so good. Things are a little bit cooler here, you know, obviously because we don't have blocks and buildings and like boulevards surrounding us. So that helps because we have this breeze, which, yes, it's annoying sometimes. It's so annoying. I cannot wait for my trees to grow a little. But at the same time, it kind of cools things down. So compared to, if you guys remember, if you're coming from the Orchid channel, compared to a few years ago when I was trying to grow plants on my terrace, which was impossible because there was concrete everywhere. I swear to you, in the summer, things would get to 50 or 60 degrees Celsius on that terrace. It was horrible. Compared to that experience, 37 here is a breeze. Yes, it's hot. I would not sit in the sun. I'm hot. Given I'm wearing a black t-shirt right now, I shouldn't. And I'm getting a little hot. But there's this breeze that I think you can see the plants moving. This makes so much difference. This is Earth Angel. Beautiful. I have some more salvia there. That, I'm going to tell you all about that in a different video. It's a rose I found here. It's a Tantau rose, and it's one of those that it's absolutely incredible and amazing, but it has such a weird growth habit and it has some issues, but it's absolutely worth it. We're going to talk about it. Don't worry. Okay, these are some recently purchased salvias. Do we see? Do we notice? Do you notice? And you saw how the other salvia looked like. Look at this salvia here. This one was planted maybe a month and a half or 2 months ago. Had time to just grow because I already cut some parts of it. This is new foliage and new flowers. This though I planted like a week ago. Not the best idea. Look at that. No, not very good. So that is the difference between a plant that you get from a very, that's an incredible poop there. I'm sorry, I get distracted. So that's the difference between a plant that you get from a sheltered garden center and you put it in the ground, especially if you live in a very hot climate, and one that got adjusted. You know, of course there's always limitations. There are plants which will never grow here no matter how early I plant them. You know, it's common sense, but I know for a fact roses grow here because everybody has them. Salvias grow here. Lavender grows here. I mean, we're in the Mediterranean. We have a Mediterranean climate, given a little dry, a little hot. Yes, we're on the hotter side of things, if you will, but it's not. It's not Arizona, actually. I've been studying temperatures of different areas that are more, let's say, of interest, and I find more information about. For example, in the US, you know, you always get plants based on your growing zone. We don't have such growing zones here because it's not an issue. We never have freezes here where I am. It only freezes in the mountains. We also have the coastal areas, which have nothing to do with my climate here. Those are something else. They grow everything there. We have an area in this country, they can grow everything. From pears and apples all the way to mangoes. Are we kidding right now? What is this paradise? But I don't happen to live in that area. So this is the hottest area of the island. So there's no point in having zones here in my area. In Europe, generally, there isn't much emphasis on it. So I'm trying to see how my climate is compared to different zones in the US, because that's where I get my information from. And I will have to say, so far it's been a little cooler than even Houston, Texas, and definitely cooler than Arizona. Yes, it gets hot, but I do believe we're not as hot as Arizona. So my guideline is, if people can grow it in Arizona, it can grow here as well. Given in Arizona you have freezes, as far as I understand, I do not have freezes here. So I can grow plumerias like a tree here without any type of issue. But regarding heat, which is what I'm most interested in, I'm getting my advice, let's say, from people in Arizona, maybe Houston, Texas as well, maybe even California, you know, the drier side of California. I hope I'm making sense. I'm trying to understand how things work. I've never been to the US ever in my life, so I don't really know how weather is like there, but I'm trying to form an opinion just so I can describe my climate and know what to grow here. So in the end, what I wanted to show you is that my garden is still doing absolutely great even with the heat wave. Will it look this luscious in August? Most likely not. But I can tell you that my plumerias will be great and my jatropha's will absolutely be great as well. And other than that, we'll see how things will do. But I am hopeful, you know. This is a positive for me. 1 week of such heat, not easy on plants. But I think we're doing well. Right, so that is about it for today. Thank you guys so much for hearing me blab and yeah, just joining me today, and I'll keep you up to date. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye!